Hello everyone, I'm back for the Let's Journal prompt in the Facebook group, the Mixed Media Emporium. And for anybody that wants to follow along with creating a journal for this year, I shared a video last week showing how I made the cover. I'm going to add the signatures today, decorate the front cover and do a first page as well. So if you want to follow along, I'll leave the link to the Facebook group, the Mixed Media Emporium, in the description box below. So please do feel free to come along and join us. Just be aware there are 4 entry questions that you will need to answer. Otherwise, your request is just automatically declined. So just, something to bear in mind. So that's the cover that we created last week. I'll leave the link to this video in the description box. And these are the pages or the papers that I want to use to create my signatures. So let me just quickly run through these. I've got some Braille paper, vintage Braille paper. Absolutely love this. I just think the neutral tone will be very versatile, but I just love the texture. So I've got 3 sheets of those. I've also got these postcards that were sent to me by a friend in Happy Mail. I thought these would be fun to use. I can add small pieces of collage onto the fronts of these, and then the insides are just, basically a blank canvas. I've got 3 paper bags, 3 different designs. This one here, I've used this in lots of my previous journals, and it just creates a really nice backdrop, and I just love the crinkly sound. Who doesn't love the sound of that? It also gives me a pocket to slip something inside. So there's that one there. This is just a plain paper bag. I folded this up because it was too big. I'm going to add some stitching as well down the sides. I've also got a pocket front and back if I want to use it as well. Now this did have the ruffly bit at the top. I've chopped that off because I thought, that's just going to get all sort of bent, and it would just drive me mad. I've also got this paper bag as well. Again, opportunity for another pocket and a fairly neutral background. I've got these gorgeous vintage ledger papers. So I've got 2 of those because I will be cutting these in half, so I can get 3 out of those 2. I've got some book paper from my friend Duke. This has come from Macedonia. Just absolutely love foreign text. So we've got that. I will be doing something to just enhance the spines a little bit, just to make them a little bit stronger. Then I've got some more ledger or book pages here from a ledger. Absolutely love this. This is really nice quality paper. It's got a bit of a sheen to it, but I love the numbers on there. What I will end up doing with this, I think, is perhaps folding it over to make it fit. I might go and grab another one of those actually. And then I've got some paper here, and this is faux tea dyed paper. I bought this in a pack from Amazon, so that is my only non-vintage style paper. Let's start off with these pages here. What I'm going to do with these is just fold them in half in this orientation, and then I'm going to take this off to my sewing machine, just stitch along the bottom. Of course, if you don't like sewing, you could do something similar just with glue or glue tape. And then I've got these wonderful page numbers as well, but this will give me then a couple of pockets. I'll have a pocket here and a pocket here as well, so that's what I'm going to do with those. For my Macedonian book pages, I'm going to use some micropore. This is incredibly sticky. It's cheap as well. This was £1.09. It's nice and wide, and all I'm going to do is just add some of the micropore on the inside and the outside, just to give these fragile book pages a little bit more strength. Wrapped the micropore around front and back. You can barely even see it, it's so translucent, but the spines feel much sturdier. Work on a piece of parchment paper if you're using micropore, because it will just stick to whatever background you're working on. Cut the ledger paper down to size. As you can see, I've decided that I want to use the ones with the cut off corners. I think that will challenge me to do something creative with those. And then I've got this one here. I like the red rather than just this one here. This is what they look like on the inside. They're all the same, so blank canvas on the inside. My signatures together, and the only page I decided to do away with was this one here. It was just too new in comparison to these. I just like the more vintage, junky look of these. The pages are all the same in all three signatures. I've just put them in a different order just to make them look more interesting. So we've got the book paper, the ledger paper here, the postcard, braille paper, paper bag, the other plain ledger paper here, which, as you can see, I've sewn along the edge to give me two pockets, a pocket here and a pocket here as well. And then this one here, you can see that I've just sewn the paper bag just along the side so that we've got a pocket here. Don't you just love that sound? So you can see the pages are the same, just in a different order. And then the order of this one here is like this. So now all I need to do is slot these inside my journal. It doesn't matter which order they go in, but what I will do is start from the far right. Oh, careful not to tear the pages. Love how that looks, and it smells absolutely wonderful too, really old and musty. And of course, because of the binding method I've chosen, I can take any of these pages out to work on them as I go along. And it might not look as if there's many pages in there, but believe me, look at this one here. I mean, this one has got slightly more pages, but this has turned out to be a complete and utter gator mouth. This is my Your Creative Studio journal. So, you know, don't fret if it looks as if you haven't got many pages in there. It will soon pad out, mark my words. The thing I want to do is add some detail to the cover. Now, I did think about adding quite a considerable size collage. I just can't bring myself to cover up this beautiful paper bag. So I found this quote, which I think is going to be perfect. Every possibility begins with the courage to imagine. So I'm going to have that down here, something like this. I want to mount it on a piece of textured wallpaper, but you know, this is way too white, so we need to do something to grunge this up. I'm going to use my chalk pastels. Mine are the Inscribe chalk pastels, and I've chosen these three colours here. You've seen me do this before. I did it before Christmas, and this just really highlights the texture in the wallpaper. So we'll go over with this dark umber, and then I'm going to use this colour here as well. I want a couple of different tones in this. I'm not going to apply that everywhere. And then I'm going to use this lighter yellow ochre colour. I'll come back in a second and just add some more of the darker colour. And then I'm going to take this outside then and spray it with some spray fixative. You could use cheap hairspray if you're using chalk pastels to fix it. If you do nothing, it will just rub straight off. I've sprayed that, and if I rub my finger on it, you can see that the chalk pastel isn't coming off. And I just want to cut myself a small piece of this off now, just to mount my quote. And I'm just going to take this off to the sewing machine now and just add a tiny bit of stitching. What I'll do to keep it in place is just add a bit of glue stick just to the centre here. Make sure I've got that centralised, and off to the sewing machine. Let's just add some walnut stain distress ink around the outside as well, just to frame it. I think that gets lost on the cover, so I've decided to pull out another piece of the Hessian that I used for the spine, and I'm just going to use this as another mount, and that will work really well for me. So I'm just going to use some of the art glitter glue, just a bit, just around the edges, and that's how I'm going to stick this in place. And then a little bit more art glitter glue just on the back of this to stick it down as well. perfect. To do a page in the journal just to get things started, and I don't know whether you can remember the ephemera holders that I put together last year. Let me just show you to remind you. These were the ephemera holders using old photo frames, and inside I had a good flick through because this is all in colour order just to see what I could find, and I found this postcard here. Now this is a postcard of, I think it's Elizabeth I. You know, if I'm wrong, please do tell me. But this is advertising a costume designer. This must date back to 80s, 90s, I would say. It's quite old. I've got a feeling this is something that I probably picked up from the scrap store, but I want to see if I can do something with this. I'm going to cut it down. We've got some visible lines here, so I'm just going to cut it down. Right, okie dokie, that looks better. Now I want to ink around this just because it's too white, but I know that if I use my distress ink that it's just going to wipe straight off, because this is kind of a plasticized postcard. I don't have any stays on in any types of brown, so what I'm going to do is add some matte medium. So I'm just going to pour a little bit on. I don't need much. And then hopefully by the time this has dried, I need a bit more than that. By the time this has dried and I add my ink, it will give it something to adhere to. The glue is now dry, or the matte medium, and I'm just going to use my distress ink in frayed burlap. And let's see if this will now stick. I don't want too much, but just a bit to darken it around the edges. You see, that looks instantly better, doesn't it? Already, or at least I think it does. So I'm just going to go all the way around. Keep your fingers crossed that this does the job, because at least then we know what to do if we've got any other ephemera with the same shiny surface. Also going over it with some, what colour's this? Vintage photo, is it? No, walnut stain as well, just to frame it. I'm not sure whether this is going to work 100%, so I think what I'll do is take it outside and just spray it with some fixative. I just wanted to find a way of making this my own, and I'm thinking about adding a butterfly. I've got this butterfly here, which colour-wise I think goes really well. What I'm going to do is use my X-Acto knife just to make a slit just along here, and I'm going to do this off camera just so that I can get close up without my head being in the way. I'm going to cut here and along here as well, and hopefully that will allow me to, well, in fact I'll have to come down her sleeves as well, which will allow me then to slot my butterfly inside. I think I'll have to cut it in half, see if this will work. So I'm just going to cut my butterfly down the centre. In fact, actually get rid of the antenna. We don't need those. You're not going to see them, and they're just in the way. So let's have a look and see if this will work. You see, now that I've done that, I needn't have cut quite so far down, but I did. You see, I like that. I think that works really well. So I'm just going to add a tad of glue. Let's just add the glue here. Now these are stickers, and I haven't bothered to peel the backing off because they'd just be way too flimsy. So I've left the backing on, which is fine. They're always such a pain to get the backings off anyway. So a tiny bit of glue here as well. So there she is with her wings, and I've been having a look to see where I want to put her in the journal. Now this is just so spooky. I googled to see when she was in reign, and it was 1558 to 1603, but she was 69 when she died, so she's just got to go there, hasn't she? So let's take this out of the journal, and I need to decide how I want to piece this together. Now you Jean sent me this for Christmas. Absolutely gorgeous, with a Christmas card. Got this beautiful fabric doily, which I need to find a way to use. But there were some lovely tags inside here, and also some of these gorgeous pages that papers that he's used to decorate the envelope. So I've got this piece of paper here, and I think this will work beautifully. The colours just, you know, are perfect. Go really well with the background paper as well. I was also thinking of this, but I don't know, that's just not doing it for me. But I did find, I've got this old book here of book scripts, and this is of the right period. This is 1551, so I think I'm going to use a piece of this. I'm playing around with it to see which will work best, and I think this is the page that I'm going to go for. I decided to run the page through the photocopier because I didn't want to cut the book up. I just need to make sure that this is going to fit on my page about there, I think. So I'm just going to stick these two pieces together. The background is glued down, so I just want to pop my focal image on top. I don't think I'm going to add any stitching. I'm just going to add it down like this. And then I've got a quote: "You cannot climb the ladder of success dressed in the costume of failure." And I thought that was appropriate for a couple of reasons. Elizabeth I was a very successful monarch and enjoyed a 45-year reign, and also the fact that this postcard was an advertisement for a costume designer. So there we have it. I'm just going to glue this down. Well, I'm leaving the video here for today. I'd like to have done a couple more pages, but I'm puppy sitting tonight. Toby is coming over, and Alex has just phoned to say that he's on his way. So there we have it. We've got the signatures in the journal, and I'm really happy with those. We've got the embellishment on the front cover, and we've got the first page done. So if you've enjoyed today's video, as always, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. As I say every time, I can't tell you how much it helps my channel. Let me know what you think in the comments below, but most importantly, thanks for watching. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.